Now that we have everything out in the open for the Haunting of Verdansk event, we can see that just like every update, we have items that have been adjusted, added, and changed in Modern Warfare and Warzone that have not been publicly mentioned via patch notes or elsewhere. So that's saying that we have here on the channel of, is it really an update without secret changes? Well, that carries on because we have a few things to discuss and go over as what are these secret changes from last week's update for the game. Today we're going to break down and let you know what you may have missed, and as we go along, let me know your thoughts down below. What's your favorite change, addition, adjustment, whatever it is, feel free to let me know. As well, if you are new to the channel, do be sure that subscribe button to stay up to date with all things Modern Warfare, Warzone, and of course Black Ops Cold War, as we're on that road to 400,000 subscribers, and we'll have a lot to discuss here over the coming months. Finally, a huge thank you and shout out to Ty, Gaming Spider, Emmanuel, Hector, Jay Merrill, and John for the love and supporting the channel a little further by using code ESPRESSO in the Modern Warfare shop. If you end up using my code for any purchases, tweet me a picture. I'd love to shout your generous support out. But anyways, let's talk about these secret changes. One of the biggest ones that actually has substantial value behind it here is that of something that is unfortunately PlayStation 4 exclusive, that being the Season 6 Combat Pack for Modern Warfare and Warzone. Now, as mentioned, this is for PlayStation 4 users. You won't be able to find it on Xbox One or on PC, and what's weird is that even if you try and use these while crossing over from PS4 to PC if you have both, or PS4 to Xbox One, you still can't use these items even once you make that switch and you've already redeemed it on PlayStation 4. This combat pack comes along with the Jailbird Rodion skin, the Slipshod 1911, the Chivy Melee, the Ball and Chain Weapon Charm, the Don't Back Down calling card, the Gulag emblem, the Surprise Inside sticker, and a double XP token. Now this combat pack comes along for the whopping grand total of absolutely free if you have PlayStation Plus. You can find this in the very bottom of the miscellaneous section of the franchise store, or you can end up searching Warzone on PlayStation for this to come up. If you search Modern Warfare, you won't find it, so make sure you do Warzone. That's available for you if you want to pick up some free items just for simply playing Season 6 and if you're a PlayStation Plus user. Now, the rest of the changes we'll really talk about in this video, some are a little bit larger than others, but for the most part, a lot of it is thematic stuff, things that does it truly alter the gameplay experience a whole ton? Not necessarily, but they're cool changes no less that you may not have seen here. Let's start with those, the Halloween changes, the stuff that this is a big reason why we didn't get to see them last week when the update first went out, because, well, they just weren't live yet. They were requiring the Halloween Haunting of Verdansk event to be out before we could actually see these changes. Now, at least on the MP side of things here, you'll of course see your featured playlists that are there and right in front of you, but if you go and inspect the quick play filter a little further, you'll see that if you go into core, there actually are name changes for some of these playlists. White Noise is that of Cyber Attack, Damnation is that of Domination, Hide and Seek is Search and Destroy, Headstone Quarters is Headquarters, Chills Confirmed is Kill Confirmed, and then my personal favorite here out of these names is My Mom Chose My Costume, in which that's Gun Game. As for the hardcore and CDL modes, didn't really look like these were changed here, but some fun little changes here that we've seen Infinity Ward do a couple of times throughout Modern Warfare, but they have done quite a few times in their studio's history, having some fun with those creative names. Now, actually in-game for some of these game modes, you'll see that there are some changes as well. For Domination in particular, you can end up seeing that the flags are actually replaced with scarecrows, and they'll actually look at you like those paintings that have eyes that seem to always follow you as well. But the difference here with this is that they actually can be a little bit of an occupational hazard if you're playing Domination, because if you end up shooting them or meleeing them enough, well, they'll actually finally get fed up with it, go up in the air, and then stomp down right on you and end up killing you. So adding a free death to that stat line, or multiple if you choose to do it multiple times, but something that is, again, a little bit of a hazard with the environment within Domination. As for game modes like Grind and Kill Confirmed, tags are actually now replaced with skulls, and you'll also see this a little bit on the heads-up display and what you'll see across the map if you can see where a tag normally would be. Those icons are also replaced with skulls. Another change actually in-game comes down to if you're on a streak or not, because you can end up having a pumpkin as your head in-game. If you go on a 3-kill streak, you'll just have a regular jack-o'-lantern pumpkin as your head here, but if you go on a 10 or more kill streak within multiplayer, well, then your head turns into a flaming pumpkin. So a little bit, again, of a thematic change here and something that doesn't really change all that much about the gameplay experience. No, but something that is pretty cool to see. Another thing added into the core gameplay experience here with this, and you may see a lot if you're playing the Halloween mosh pits, is that the NVG maps are really making a return here with this in a much higher frequency. So if you followed NVG or if you care about it at all, it may be something that you kind of feel has been neglected a little bit within Modern Warfare, because once we ended up seeing the game debuted last summer, all the way up until the launch of the game, it was something that was kind of this marketed bullet point that Infinity Ward really wanted to hit home. They were making this NVG night mode experience, if you will, for Modern Warfare, and where so much so to the point that it was actually in the regular rotation, you were getting more NVG maps at launch than actually those of the regular game modes, to which players complained about that. It ended up getting made to its own playlist. Then that playlist seemingly died off up until the point where for a long stretch of time, we didn't see any NVG game modes at all. So these are now finally being reintroduced here in a regular capacity. Whether or not this continues on after the Halloween theme and the spooky nighttime setting we're seeing here at this 2-week event, we'll have to wait and see, but those were added in. On the Warzone side of things, well, a lot of these changes just go towards thematic stuff, some things that are relative Easter eggs in terms of visuals, nothing that really right now seems to be something that progresses towards an Easter egg, but you'll see stuff like a bunch of ghosts all around Verdansk. There's blood going upwards, defying the laws of physics and defying gravity here, and a lot of named locations. You'll see that there's actually, even in the downtown train station, a Saw-themed room where if you go down into that tunnel, it says, "I want to play a game," and all things relating to that. Leatherface's ghost can be found out in the farmlands. There's a few ghost trains to be found. There's some Ghostbuster references above the gulag. There's a bunch of stuff actually in the gulag. So there's just a bunch of things that, in relation to relative themed Easter eggs, there's a lot going on here at this one. So if you like that kind of stuff, definitely go exploring. There is so many here that are a part of this, but some cool stuff no less. Plunder seems to have a change that may or may not have been on purpose, but we had marketed that Plunder will be at night as of next week, within week 2, but as of right now, it still is nighttime. So that may be a change that is inadvertent, but is a change made no less that wasn't really listed anywhere. The Striker 45 now has a blueprint that is new loot branded for the Halloween event as a part of the new contraband contract that's made its way over within the last week or so. So if you end up completing a contract and getting that contraband contract to spawn out of that, just go to the drop zone and secure yourself a nice new blueprint. One thing that I was kind of surprised that it doesn't seem like we have is that of something that looks to be an Easter egg you can progress through. Something that, like the last couple of seasons introductions, the last major changes to the maps, you can end up getting a blueprint here for just by simply doing the Easter egg in Warzone. In the Bunker 11 Easter egg, you had the Muddrobber MP7. In the Stadium Easter egg, you had the Enigma CR56. In the Station Easter egg, you had the Firebrand Bruin. And right now, it doesn't seem like we have something just yet. People were looking towards some of these icons that look to have made their way a little bit more abundantly into the Warzone map, but this doesn't seem to be stuff that is added in within this update. YouTuber and streamer Geeky Pastimes actually detailed this kind of stuff as of last month, so whether or not this is something for Pawn Takes Pawn or an Easter egg upcoming, we don't know, but that is something that right now there's a big question mark on an Easter egg. But to close out this video, I want to talk about some inadvertent changes that as of last week have seemed to come back or have gotten worse, at least depending on the platform that you end up playing. These 3 being connection and packet loss, frame issues becoming a real problem on PC, and the demon model glitch returning in PC as well. Now for connection and packet loss, this may be something you've experienced regardless of the platform, where you'll just disconnect, you won't be able to join games. That's something that usually happens every update, every event, either because of server overload, because everyone wants to experience this kind of stuff, or just because it's something that the update messed up slightly, and that's usually resolved. But something that's been ongoing here now for multiple updates on and off, and then as of recently has just gotten incredibly bad is, well, firstly, that demon model glitch that has been taken care of before, where if you play on PC, the weapons you pick up, who you spectate, will just have this weapon model that is so incredibly fragmented, something that just is not a normal weapon. That's something I'm expecting to be taken care of relatively soon, but the big one for me is the frame issues on PC. This started for me, at least, and I know many others, as of Season 6's update. Whether it be the update or the NVIDIA drivers that went out to optimize the game shortly thereafter, I'm not entirely sure, because I know that it happened to me when I downloaded new drivers. Since then, I've been getting about 30 to 40 frames lower than where I normally am on PC, and I'll end up having these horrible frame crashes where I'll go from perfectly fine 90 to 110 FPS all the way down to 15, and it's something that takes about 30 seconds in game to end up fixing it if it doesn't crash my game. The only solution I've really found is to toggle from full screen to full screen borderless back to full screen, and that should temporarily fix it. Now, since that Season 6 update, we have had that title update as of last week, and new drivers for NVIDIA cards to be installed with the Cold War beta optimization. But both of these newer driver optimizations haven't done anything but create problems. Reverting back to old drivers hasn't done anything but create problems, so it's weird that I can't go even back to that, and it's only seemingly in Modern Warfare. Even curiously still is that it doesn't matter the quality I'll play on. Yes, I can drop down from 1440p. I have done so from ultra settings down to 1080p ultra. I'll go down to even 720 on low, and I'll still get these problems. So it's something that seemingly right now, to me, points at being something in game. So we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully this is something that is a fix on the horizon. Please, Infinity Ward, the game's actually unplayable on PC for me and so many other people, to the point where some of the B-roll footage that you'll see here that I normally capture whenever I'm normally playing on PC, I had to jump over to my PS4 and actually grab, which, you know, I don't really do all that much anymore. So fingers crossed that gets fixed out, but that was a change that, again, inadvertently was made here as of the Season 6 Reloaded update as of last week, and that's where we're going to cap off this video. So that's where we're going to wrap it up. Love to get your thoughts and feedback down there in the comment section down below. Anything that you guys really liked out of this update and the secret changes, anything you didn't, maybe this frame loss issue, whatever it is, let me know your thoughts. But hopefully enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you drop a like down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Modern Warfare, Warzone, and of course, Black Ops Cold War as we round into the next couple of months here for all things Call of Duty. If you also want to follow me over on Twitter and Instagram, those are the best places to get connected outside of YouTube. Practically live on both those. If you guys want to check my conversation, ask me a question, whatever it may be, that link is down there in the description below. That said, thanks so much for watching. My name is Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.